Okay guys, now we're going to talk about frame control. This is a really kind of slippery, esoteric kind of section. So just bear with us. We're going to explain it the best we can, but really stick this out. You may want to watch it twice because it's kind of complicated, but I freaking wrote it the best I could, so we'll see if you understand our explanation.
Exactly. This is a section where you want to watch it twice because there's a lot that's being said and it can be taken several different ways. You really need to let this set in.
Set it in.
Clutch, what is frame control?
What is frame? Okay. A frame is the interpreted meaning of an interaction. It's like the frame of a window through which you interpret reality. You're looking through that window. And any interaction, the person who has the stronger frame, that is to say the stronger reality, gets to define the underlying meaning of the interaction. Unconsciously, his frame will be accepted by the whole group. Okay, let me ask you something. This is a good question. What is frame control?
Frame control is having a strong frame. Actually having a stronger frame rather, and therefore dictating and controlling the underlying meaning of the whole conversation.
Exactly. And what is the next question we got going here?
How do we have this stronger frame?
Well, I have an answer for that. By being the most composed and the least affected by outside influences or circumstances, by having a strong reality, and by staying on our inner balance point. Blah. That is how you have the stronger frame. Am I correct?
An outside influence, would that be if some guy's tailgating me and I have my chick in my car, right? And if I get all pissed off, if I let him into my reality and just let that ruin the rest of the night,
damn good example.
Who's winning?
We didn't even go over that example. You just came out with it.
That's a good one. Or one that I actually passed at the bar the other day. There was this guy being loud and obnoxious, picking up trash cans and just yelling like a gorilla. And I did not let him in my reality at all. I just totally just blocked him out.
That's having a strong frame.
So,
absolutely.
All right. For example, I might ask you to buy me lunch. And when you say no, I'll just respond with, "You're such a cheapskate."
Right. Okay, if Fly's frame is stronger than yours, then you being a cheapskate will be accepted by the whole group. Even if you don't accept it, the one who is most composed in the conversation, the most firmly rooted in his interpretation of what's going on, is the one whose frame is accepted.
If you get pissed and give reasons why I'm the cheap one while I remain composed and unswayed, my frame is the one that we both will accept.
Okay, exactly. That's why strong frames are not stubborn frames. A lot of people take this the wrong way. They become stubborn and frame Nazis, as we're going to discuss. Stubbornness is based in fear, and therefore it's not composed. Those who argue their points with stubborn fervor have weak realities and weak frames. For example, you can say to me, no, it's not that way, Clutch. It's this way. And I can say to you, you know what? You're right. And though on the surface it appears you won that frame challenge, in reality, I won it in a way because I let you win. I let you set the frame, therefore I have the stronger frame because I let yours encompass upon mine. It's like you've shown up to the tennis court wearing your pink Adidas headband and your knee-high socks, and I'm still in bed in the G-spot sawing toothpicks. That's the way it is.
All right. The strength of your frame is a direct correlation to the amount you allow outside circumstances to affect your inner state. The guy who is most composed and rooted in his reality will win every single time.
Yep. Okay, like I said, guys who first get into this game play fray games with each other all the time. It becomes a sort of ego race to see who can have the stronger frame. But when you look at it, they're operating off their inner balance point. They're vying to win the frame game, which is equal to trying to get back on your inner balance point.
All right, having a strong frame is not about proving anything or asserting your position. Not caring about who's setting the frame is setting the frame.
Exactly. That is good. We're going to put that up on the video. Exactly. You know what? You don't have to control the frame at all times and at all costs. This is what we call, again, being a frame Nazi. Remember, controlling the frame means being composed and calm and not trying to control the frame.
Good. For example, you can let a girl teach you something, but the frame will be that she's showing you something and you are impressed with her knowledge and great teaching ability. This is a great way to kind of show that she is actually vying for your approval.
Exactly. You know, you're gonna be with her. She's gonna be teaching something. You're gonna ask lots of questions. You're gonna be curious. But the frame is that she's like performing for you and like qualifying herself to you. That's the frame we want to create.
All right. The most important thing to remember here, guys, is that women are attracted to men who have a stronger frame than they do. All right. They're going to test you on this stuff, and you must remain at a stronger frame.
Yep. You know, when the strength of your frame is in question, what women will do is they will unconsciously check your frame to test its strength. They have to do this, and we call them frame checks. That's what we call them. It's like testing the strength of a piece of plywood when you go into Home Depot. You have to check that thing before you can like take it home and use it, right? Well, we can just look at a woman and see that she's hot and be attracted. But women can't just like look at us. Sometimes they can tell some things with our body language. But when it's like a little bit incongruent and she doesn't know that you have a strong frame, she's going to test it. Now, once you do have a strong frame, the test will stop. Not only with the girl that did test you before, but also with other girls. Once you get strong enough in your reality, you'll never get frame checked again. But in the beginning, you guys will be frame checked, and it's important that you pass. So, how do women do this?
Well, by saying mean or emotionally charged things to try to get a reaction out of you. This is why being unaffected is so important. She's checking our value. And again, women do this unconsciously. She has to see if you're a high value guy, right? Well, this is one of the ways that she can check. These are also called shit tests in the PUA community. Think about it this way. If you guys had girls coming up to you all the time, you know, and you did not have time to date like all these hot women because, you know, you're important, you have a lot of things to do, you would create kind of the same system as women do as far as like frame checks. You're going to frame check the women. So they have to do it to weed out the weak guys.
Yeah, exactly. So when it happens, when a girl says something really mean to you, especially right off the bat, see it for what it really is. Don't get butthurt. Know what she's doing and blow past it. Example, in my initial conversation, I told you guys that I asked this girl a question and she got like really pissed off. What that was is I knew it was like a frame check to see if I could be thrown off my inner balance point by her acting up. That's why I did what I did, which was to kind of like sit back completely unaffected and in a little way kind of be entertained by what she was doing, and it worked.
All right, when she does test your value in this way, it's essential that you pass her test. And how do we pass these tests?
By being unaffected.
Unaffected, or by turning it around on her. Better yet, just ignore it altogether.
Just ignore it altogether. Okay, here are some good examples of typical frame checks that, funny enough, all girls will do, but they don't even know they're doing it. They just say this shit. They boom, say it to you. This is the most common one. A girl might say to you, "Why are you wearing that shirt?" Or "Why are you wearing those pants?" Or "Oh my God, why are you wearing those shoes?" Frame check.
Or a lot of girls ask this one, "Why don't you have a girlfriend?"
Yep. "Please buy me a drink." "Will you buy me a drink?" "Why did you move here from there?" "We just moved to this area that we live in now from a very nice place." So they're like, "Oh, why would you move here?" Frame check.
Or did you get that pickup line from a book?
Oof, that's a tough one. Okay. The law for frame checks is this, guys.
Never buy into her frame.
Never answer these questions like you're trying to explain yourself to her. If you do that, you're letting her set the frame and you're trying to win her approval, which is very bad.
You're seeking her approval, which is not good. You want it the other way around. Instead, you should do one of these several things. First, you can just ignore it. Just blow right past it. Pretend you did not even hear it. Why? Because you know what? You are an alpha male who is not used to being frame checked. So it's like you didn't even notice what happened.
Yeah, you didn't even know what was happening. It just like went right over your head. You're not used to being checked. Second, you can answer the question in a seemingly self-deprecating, joking manner. This shows that you haven't bought into her frame of her trying to get you to explain yourself to her, but instead, you're exaggerating why you can't live up to her expectations in a very sarcastic way. This shows that you're funny, unaffected by her frame checks, and do not care about what happens. Very powerful.
God, you have some funny responses. So if she says, "Why are you talking to us? What, do you have no friends or something?"
In a very composed way, you could say, oh my God, how could you tell? You know, I usually pay someone to hang out with me, but I just spent all my money last Saturday on the midget rodeo.
That's a good one.
You know, and she'll laugh, and it's just like you're exaggerating, you're joking, you show you don't give a shit. Like, dude, you're trying to frame check me? Cool. I'm gonna throw it back at you in a funny way. Bam, they laugh, you pass, conversation continues forward.
And you know, it's funny, before we like knew this stuff, that kind of a frame check would kill. Especially if you
That
have
would
no
hurt.
response, like you're not, people are not, and they never teach you these things until now.
Yeah, exactly.
Like how to
yeah.
respond to these kind of frame checks.
Yeah, exactly.
So lastly, you can turn the tables on her. This is called reframing.
Reframing means interpreting what she said to mean something else altogether, and this is
Good.
fun stuff.
This is fun.
For example, if she asks you again, why are you wearing that shirt? You can say, thank you, I'm glad you like it, while smiling and being completely composed. Remember, you're not used to being insulted about the clothes that you wear, so she says something about your shirt, it just goes right over your head, you think it's a compliment, and you're like, thank you, I'm glad you like it. That shows that you have a very strong frame, completely unaffected by her negativity.
Better yet, you can accuse her of having low class, not being cool, or just trying to sleep with you.
Yeah, I know. The best response to why are you wearing that shirt or why are you wearing those pants is, you know what, I know you want to take off my pants right now, sweetie, but this is not the time or place for that. Take it easy over there. Relax.
Relax.
That is a great response.
It's a good
Love
response.
doing that.
Here's some good tricks you can use to reframe her frame checks to show her that you have a strong frame.
Okay, if she asks you a frame check type of question, you can respond by saying, the real question is, now what you're doing is you're flipping the tables on her. She's like, why are you wearing that shirt? The real question is, why aren't you on the radio? You have such a deep, commanding voice, and then wink at her like that. You just threw it right back in her face. It's huge. It's going to pass the test every time.
All right, here's some other ways you can show a woman how strong your frame is.
Okay, this is a great way. You can purposely put yourself in a seemingly uncomfortable social situation with her, one that you can handle, to show her that you're unaffected. I like to do this. I've had some public speaking experience. So what I do is I bring her with me in a situation where I know I'm going to have to talk to like 20 people. And dude, I can feel her standing next to me, looking at me. I can just see her looking at me. And it really shows that I have a strong frame and they get attracted because of it.
All right, on this note, do not go into her reality too soon. I once dated a DJ, and she always tried to get me to go to her shows when she was spinning. And bad idea, especially in the beginning. All right, maybe after you guys have been dating for like 6 months, that's cool. You know, go into her reality, but don't go in too soon. It shows that you're desperate. It just shows all the bad things.
Yeah, you know, you want to take her into your reality in the beginning. I mean, eventually, of course, as we always say, you can't go too far with this. 6 months down the road, if your girl's a DJ and she's like, come, you're like, no, I'm not going to go into your reality. That's going too far. But in the beginning, like you said, don't do something like that. One good way to do it is if she has a drink, you can just be chatting it up with her. Take her drink, drink it while you're looking at her and give it back to her, and just show that you're completely composed with the situation, because that's a social pressure kind of situation. You don't take people's drinks and just drink them, but by doing so, you're showing that you're like unaffected by her, and she can't check your frame.
Good. When she says we're not going to have sex, just go along with it. Make it as if it was your idea. And Eni, we're not. Don't argue. This makes her actually defend her position. You can say, I'm glad you said that because I don't like having sex this early on anyways. I was going to say that, but I felt like the timing just wasn't right.
How big is that? If you say to her, I was going to say that, but the timing wasn't right yet, that's showing that she's socially unintelligent.
Because she's bringing it up at the wrong time.
At the wrong time,
and that you were going to say it. You kind of beat her to the punch, but she said it at an inappropriate time. Good.
Very powerful. Very good example. Okay, yep, or the classic one, and everybody knows this in the pickup community, but we have to say it because it's just too good not to. If she says we're not going to have sex, you say, you know what? Talking about sex all the time actually really isn't the best way to seduce me. That's huge. It's a complete reframe. Yeah. You just flipped it on her.
All right. If you're talking to her and she says, I'm going to go back to my friends over there. You can come if you want. That's a frame check. A lot of times, you guys, this will be a frame check. She wants to see if you actually follow her out of your environment into hers, which, remember, is not a good thing to do. But don't go. Just say, nah, I got to get back to my friends. Maybe I'll see you later on. And, of course, you can meet up with her later on in the club.
Right, especially in the beginning, you've been talking to her for 3 minutes, and she's like, here, she just wants to go back to her table, and she kind of likes you. She might be attracted, she might not, so she's like, come with me. But if you go with her, your value is going to drop because you're like following her and trying to win her approval.
And to recover from that is pretty tough.
Exactly. So you say, maybe I'll see you later, which you probably will. It's in a club. You'll probably run into her again. And the fact that you can leave her to show that you are not outcome dependent, that you can let her go, is very powerful for attraction. Again, you can't go too far, depending on the situation. If you guys are hitting it off great, and she's like, hey, I want to introduce you to my friends, fine. But if it's only been a few minutes and you don't have a lot of attraction and she tries to do that to you, it might be best not to do it.
Good.
All right. Sometimes when you're on a date or a hangout, we like to call them hangouts, we don't like to use the word date, the girl will stray from you to see if you'll chase her.
Yep. Do not chase her there, all right? Let her come to you. If she plays these kind of games, as standing across the street, for example, it's a frame check.
This is a great thing to do. If you're on a date with a girl and she's standing over there and you guys are like making eye contact and it's very obvious that you're in competition to see who will come to who, go like this. Be like, call me. She'll call you, drop the call, text her, what? And then she'll just be like, oh my God, you just demolished her. You just did that.
Yeah, and we understand you guys are not going to come across these exact specific situations, but these are examples. You know, you're going to come with situations that are similar, and you can kind of just use our examples to come up with your own.
Exactly. Again, you can't draw a blueprint of every situation that's going to happen and have your perfect response to it. These are examples so that you can structure your own framework. The basic concept is what we really want you guys to take from this. One thing you can do too, if a girl is like arguing her point with me and we're kind of like going back and forth and we're arguing, what I'll do is I'll be like, you know what, I can see it's really important to you to think that, so I'll go ahead and let you think it. What you're saying there is that I'm the one letting you have that frame. Therefore, again, my frame is stronger and I'm letting you have your frame.